You won't believe the value hiding in plain sight. These motorcycles deliver legendary reliability and pure fun for less than $5,000. Most riders chase the same loud, flashy bikes, but some of the best machines are right under our noses. Today we're showing you a dozen hidden gem motorcycle souls that are stupidly underrated. These bikes are built to last, priced to move, and ready to surprise you. Wait until you see number 10. It flies under the radar, but handles like a dream. Number 1. Honda XR 650L. This is the cockroach of motorcycles, the bike that just won't die. If you want a machine that laughs at neglect, survives crashes, and keeps thumping along no matter what you throw at it, the Honda XR 650L is it. Since 1993, Honda has barely changed a thing. Why mess with perfection? Same 644cc air-cooled single, same steel frame, and best of all, zero electronics to go haywire. This is a true dual sport that doesn't care where you point it. Smash it through the woods, ford a river, pound pavement for miles. The XR takes it all. The engine just chugs along, unfazed by heat, dust, or a little tip over in the mud. Owners tell stories of these bikes going over 50,000 miles with just oil changes and the occasional valve check. If you want something to outlast you, this is it. Want to keep it simple? There's no fuel injection, no traction control, and no fancy dash. Just a key, a choke, and a starter button. You can fix it with basic tools, even by the side of the trail. And Honda parts everywhere. Cheap, easy to find, and tough as nails. How about cost? Brand new, you're looking at around $7,600, but good used examples start at $3,500. That's serious value for a bike that'll eat up the years. The only thing that really ages is the plastic. Everything else keeps rolling. Let's be honest, it's not perfect for everyone. The seat sits at 37 inches, so it's a stretch for shorter riders. And for a dual sport, it's heavy, especially when you have to pick it up off the trail. But that's the price of unkillable durability. If you've ever wondered what it feels like to ride a sledgehammer disguised as a motorcycle, the XR is calling your name. You don't just own this bike, you inherit it. If you love finding hidden gems like these, smash that subscribe button and join the crew. You won't miss a beat, and you might just spot your next dream bike before anyone else. Let's move on to my next pick. Number 2. Yamaha YZF 600R Thundercat. Let's talk about a bike that does it all and never gets the credit. The YZF 600R, better known as the Thundercat, is the kind of machine real riders keep for life. You get 100 horsepower, yes, 100, from a 600cc inline 4, all packed into a chassis that weighs just 417 pounds dry. But the real magic? This bike is comfy. Yamaha didn't just bolt a plank to the frame and call it a seat. You can ride the Thundercat all day, 2 up, back-to-back states. Your back and knees will actually survive. It's the rare sport bike where you don't need a chiropractor on speed dial. Let's get nerdy for a sec. Built from 1995 to 2007. That's 12 years of riders putting these things through everything. Commutes, cross-country hauls, track days, rain, snow, you name it. The 599cc inline 4 is a classic, simple, reliable, easy to work on. Some guys report 50 to 70 miles per gallon. That's not just thrifty, that's let's do an iron butt kind of range. It's not all roses though. The R6 came along and stole the limelight, so the Thundercat never got the fan club it deserved. You also won't find fancy screens or ride modes here, just analog gauges and pure riding joy. Price? You want value? Used, you'll find solid runners for $1,100 to $3,700. Kelley Blue Book shows a clean 05 at $34,35. I mean, that's a ton of bike for a few grand. I've seen posts from owners who put 80,000 miles on the same engine. One guy said, "This thing is my secret weapon. Friends keep upgrading and breaking. The Thundercat, still purring." If you want a bike that's a sleeper on the outside, but a rocket and a couch on the inside, this is your play. Why let all the R bikes get the hype? Even crazier, coming up is a classic four-cylinder that predates them all. Wait until you see what we've got next. What's the most underrated sport touring machine you've ever ridden? Let us know below. Number 3. Suzuki GS750. Is the original quiet warrior. Introduced in 1976, it didn't show off. This bike took the famous four-cylinder formula, smoothed out the rough edges, and gave us 70 horsepower of smooth, dependable muscle. Here's the beauty. Suzuki went with a 748cc 𝐏𝐄𝐑 inline 4. That's as rock solid as they come. No crazy technology, no weird gimmicks, just proven engineering that's outlasted most of its competition. These engines have a reputation for running forever, even if you treat them rough. Need proof? There are still plenty of these GS bikes rolling around, racking up well over 50,000 miles with just oil changes and basic love. Now let's talk. Only big Japanese classics. Let's talk numbers. You can scoop up project bikes for as little as $900, and fully restored beauties rarely go over $3,500. That's a steal for a machine this proven. You won't find collector buzz here, but you will find a bike you can ride, wrench, and rely on for years. Here's the negative. If you care about crowds and coffee shop stares, this isn't your flex. The GS750 is all about quiet confidence. Most folks walk right by without a second look. But if you know what's under that tank, you know you're sitting on a legend. What do you think? Does Under the Radar sound good, or do you want the attention? Drop it in the comments. But if you want something that laughs in the face of mud and rocks, wait till number 6. And now, the next ride is built for survival. At number 4, CFMOTO 300 SS. This thing is a budget superstar that's shaking up the sport bike world. You want a modern TFT dash? You got it. A sharp, full fairing and slipper clutch for less than $5,000? Yeah, you heard right. This is a hidden gem. Under the skin, the 300 SS packs a 292cc liquid-cooled single. You get 29 horsepower, enough to push you up to almost 90 miles per hour. Smooth Bosch fuel injection and a slipper clutch. Keep it friendly and fun, even if you ride it hard. And the features? Full LED lighting, 5-inch TFT display, track lap timer, the kind of stuff you expect from bikes that cost twice as much. This bike doesn't just punch above its weight, it knocks out the competition. One rider shared, "This is my first time riding a street bike, and it's so light and forgiving, the technology on it also surprised me. Full digital dash and navigation is amazing. Having luxury things on a beginner bike is awesome. And CFMOTO does an amazing job incorporating these options into lower CC bikes." New? You're out the door for $4,599. Used? I've seen clean examples for as little as $2,200. And the gas mileage? Expect over 60 miles per gallon. Easy on the throttle, easy on your wallet. But here's the catch. The dealer network is still growing. If you're in a small town, you might end up waiting on parts or driving for service. Some mechanics just look at the badge and scratch their heads. if you hate hunting for help, this might test your patience. But if you want cutting-edge tech without breaking the bank, the 300SS delivers. Riders at our local bike night are still asking, "How did you get that TFT for so cheap?" The secret's out. This is the kind of deal you brag about. Next, a 90s tribute that wears its retro badge proudly, but rides like new. Stick around because number 6 proves you don't need modern tech to turn heads. Number 5, Kawasaki Zephyr 550. If you ever wished you could buy a new bike with that pure 70s vibe, but none of the old headaches, this is your hidden gem. The Kawasaki Zephyr 550 was Kawasaki's way of tipping its hat to the legendary Z1, but giving you modern reliability where it counts. This thing is pure retro. Teardrop tank, round headlight, twin shocks, analog gauges, all the right curves. But underneath, it's smarter than it looks. You get an air-cooled inline-4 with simple carbs and no liquid cooling. No radiators to burst, no coolant leaks. Just 4 carbs, 4 pipes, and 50 horsepower that feels more alive than some new bikes twice the price. It's that classic Japanese, turn the key and ride forever attitude. People always talk about bulletproof bikes. The Zephyr actually walks the walk. Owners say these bikes will do 60,000 miles with basic maintenance. Keep your carbs clean, oil fresh, and you've got a ride that won't quit. How about the cost? Here's the shocker. In the States, clean example still change hands for as little as $1,800 and rarely over $2,500 unless it's absolutely mint. Even overseas, $3,700 is about the max. Compare that to what a classic CB costs these days. It's a steal. And you know what? It's not just for looking at. The Zephyr handles twisties better than almost any old UJM. It's light, flickable, and those upright bars mean no wrist pain, no cramped legs, just pure ride. But yeah, it's basic. No wind protection. And the gauges? They do their job, but don't expect a TFT screen or a fuel computer. Sometimes less really is more. Want something you can wrench on yourself? This is it. Simple, mechanical, everything right out in the open. Nothing hidden, nothing fancy, just you and the road. But here's the real kicker. This thing just flies under the radar. No hype, no collector tax. Most folks at bike night will walk right past, but you will know what you've got. Or how about a bike that crossed 3 continents before you were born? Coming up, wait till you see number 6. It's got a passport older than most of us. Number 6, MZ Scorpion. Ever heard of the MZ Scorpion? Most of us haven't, and that's exactly why it's a hidden gem. This bike is a true international mutt. German frame, Yamaha engine, British design touches, and Italian components. Sounds like a recipe for chaos, but the result? It just plain works. For riders who want something rare, dependable, and different from the crowd, this is one to hunt down. Here's the secret sauce. Yamaha's 660 cubic centimeter 5-valve thumper. This is the same engine that made bikes like the XT600 and the original Tenere famous for crossing continents. We're talking 48 to 58 horsepower, plenty to keep you in the fast lane, but mellow enough to last forever. These things are happy to cruise at 70 miles per hour, sip gas, and just go and go. And it's light, just 380 pounds dry. In a world where modern bikes keep getting bigger and heavier, the Scorpion still feels nimble. You'll find 3 main flavors: Sport, clip-ons and rear sets, Tour, upright bars, and Traveler, hard bags and all the mile-liter options. Stainless silencers, dual seats, premium suspension, and even adjustable bars and pegs on some models. The fit and finish? Way better than you'd expect from a name most Americans have never heard. Now, let's talk bargain. Because the world basically slept on this bike, you'll find them in the US for as little as $2,000 for a runner, maybe $3,500 for a clean low-mile traveler with factory panniers. Try getting that kind of deal on any other quirky Euro bike. The catch? Near zero dealer support, and resale is, well, almost silent. You'll need to order some parts from Europe and be ready to wrench a little. But for the price, you're getting a real conversation starter that's built to rack up miles, not likes. And here's the fun bit. These bikes are true sleepers. Some club racers even hopped up the engine to push serious power. So if you want to surprise people at your local meet, this is your ticket. Hold tight. Number 7 is a nutty two-stroke that still runs like a champ. Wait until you hear what's smoking up the countdown next. Number 7, Yzdi Road King. Now, if you want to talk about motorcycles with soul, this is it. The Yzdi Road King is the kind of bike that makes grown men smile, old school mechanics nod, and younger riders scratch their heads. It's got a look and sound you'll never forget. A two-stroke, 246 cubic centimeter single, a kickstarter, and that bizarre but genius lever that works as both your gear shifter and kickstart. No joke, one lever, two jobs. Born in India but descended from the Czech Jawa bikes, the Road King became a legend in the East. Police, postmen, and racers all swore by it. Why? Bulletproof metallurgy. These engines just don't quit, even if you treat them rough. They got dumped, dropped, and pushed through floods, and still kept going. As long as you had fuel and a bit of oil, you could get there. Ask any Indian uncle. He's probably got a story about a Yzdi that just wouldn't die. So what's it like to ride? Well, you get that old school two-stroke smoke, a signature crackle from the pipes, and a bark that lets everyone know you're coming. No electric start though. It's all leg day with that kicker, and there's no fancy electronics or gadgets. Gauges are basic, comfort is, well, classic. Think upright seat and a big metal tank between your knees. But here's the crazy part. Prices are still rock bottom. You'll find these bikes for $1,150 up to $2,400, depending on condition and how much chrome is left on the fenders. Sometimes you'll see unrestored rider specials at the lower end and lovingly restored classics at the top. Try finding another cult classic for that cheap. Light negatives? Sure, it's smoky, it smells like a lawnmower, and you'll be kicking instead of button pushing. And parts? You'll have to order from specialist shops or hit up Indian forums. But if you want a project and a conversation piece, this is it. Most American riders have never seen one. But trust us, if you ever get the chance, take it for a spin. It's not about going fast, it's about enjoying the journey, soaking up the stairs and joining a global cult. Fast forward now to a beaten-up ADV legend that still commands respect. Stick around. Next from our list might be the most rugged bike you'll ever meet. Number 8. BMW R1150 GS. This is the BMW R1150 GS, the bike that kicked off the big adventure scene before ADV was even a buzzword. When you think of a motorcycle that can cross deserts, tackle dirt, and still ride home on the highway, this is the bike you picture. It's the OG adventure machine, air and oil-cooled boxer twin, pushing out 90 horsepower, a unique telelever front end, and more dirt cred than most so-called modern ADVs. Let's talk endurance. These things were built from 1999 through 2004, but you'll still see them racking up 60,000 miles, 80,000 miles, even 100,000 on the odometer. And the wildest part? Owners say she's just getting broken in. This engine doesn't quit. Ask any BMW guy in his 40s or 50s, they'll tell you, don't worry about mileage, worry about missing out. The GS is more than a legend, it's a community. If you've ever watched Long Way Round with Ewan McGregor, you've seen this machine bounce across Mongolia, river crossings, and European highways without a whimper. People take these things to war zones and ride them home again. You can drop it, tip it over, drown it, and it'll still start up, shake off the mud, and ask for more. What's it like to live with? It's a chunky beast, just under 550 pounds wet, and yes, the 𝐏𝐄𝐑 is a little agricultural by today's standards. The gearbox can be clunky and the seat's tall. Short riders, bring your boots. But once you're rolling, it feels planted, unstoppable, and oddly comfortable. No other bike mixes touring and trail bashing quite like it. Pricing. You can score a clean late model adventure for as little as $3,500 to $5,500. That's pennies for a machine built to cross continents. Light negatives. It's heavy, the 𝐏𝐄𝐑 is chunky, and the gearbox takes some muscle, but the payoff? Legendary reliability and that boxer thump. Stick around, because we're going from global war zone survivor to city slicker next. Number 9 shrinks things way down, but the charm is supersized. Number 9, Royal Enfield Hunter 350. Let's talk retro soul on a budget. The Royal Enfield Hunter 350 is the kind of bike that grabs your attention by not trying too hard. It's simple, air-cooled, easy to wrench on, and it just feels right in your hands, especially if you love the sound and feel of a classic single. We're talking about a 349 cubic centimeter air-cooled thumper with just a touch under 20 horsepower. Brand new, you're out the door for just under $4,000. Yes, you heard that right, brand new, even cheaper if you find a lightly used one, sometimes under $3 grand. For a lot of us, that's less than the price of a paint job on a Harley. This is the bike you buy when you want to keep things easy, soulful, and fun. The Hunter 350 keeps it real with bolt-on mods, a super light clutch, and maintenance you can do with a basic socket set. No need for a degree in electronics or a Bluetooth scanner. Just you, the bike, and the open road, or city streets. Yeah, it's not a rocket. You'll get some vibration at higher speeds, and the seat is on the firmer side, but it's perfect for blasting through town, chasing sunset along Main Street, or showing up at a bike night with old school style. Wind protection? Not really, but that's part of the charm. People say the Royal Enfield is for folks who don't care about impressing anyone. They just love to ride. It's the perfect bike for cafe runs, commutes, and even teaching a friend how to shift for the first time. And thanks to the global and Enfield aftermarket, you can bolt on a new exhaust, seat, or bars for peanuts. Prices? $3,999 on new. Find a gently used one for $2,900 to $3,700 bucks. Cheap, cheerful, and built for the real world. Still think reliability can't be fun? Coming in at number 11 is a machine that's made for pure riding joy and keeps rolling long after others quit. Number 10, Suzuki GS500. Here's a bike that's been quietly crushing miles since the late 1980s, and almost nobody talks about it. The Suzuki GS500 is the true blue jeans of motorcycles. Simple, tough, and always there when you need it. We're talking about a 487 cubic centimeter, air-cooled twin that makes 47 horsepower and sits under 400 pounds. You don't need a fancy degree to keep this one running, just a willingness to ride. You want miles per gallon? How about 50 to 70 on a good day? That means you can ride all week on a single tank and still have gas money left for burgers. The neutral ergonomics mean you're not hunched over like a racer, but you're not stuck upright like a touring barge either, just pure, comfortable riding. The seat won't punish your spine, and the suspension's soft enough to swallow city bumps without drama. Let's get real. Nobody buys a GS500 to brag. This isn't a look-at-me bike. In fact, most people will walk right past it at a meet, but that's exactly the point. You can scoop up a clean used one for $1,500 to $3,500. The best part, most have been ridden, dropped, fixed, and are still out there racking up miles because they just don't quit. Some folks call it a beginner's bike, but don't let that fool you. It's just as happy blasting down the highway at 70 miles an hour as it is puttering through town. Sure, it is not flashy, no fairings, basic looks, and not much to polish. But for those of us who value reliability, cheap insurance, and easy maintenance, the GS500 is a friend for life. Still sold new in parts of Asia for $7 to $8 grand, but here in the States, they're a bargain. And for our penultimate pick, wait until you see this exotic triple that carves corners like nothing else. Number 11, Triumph Daytona 675. Here's a bike that rewrote the rulebook into the sport bike world, the Triumph Daytona 675. This is a motorcycle that didn't just show up to the party it kicked down the door with a 3-cylinder engine when everyone else was playing the 4-cylinder game. You want razor-sharp handling, wild mid-range torque, and a sound that gives you goosebumps? This is it. 675 cubic centimeters, 116 horsepower, and enough punch to put a grin on your face every single time you hit the throttle. The Daytona 675 is light, nimble, and telepathic in the corners. A proper rider's bike. But here's what's wild. It's still flying under the radar. While other middleweight sport bikes like the R6 and CBR 600RR hog the spotlight, the Daytona quietly delivers the goods for less cash. You'll find solid, used examples out there for $5,000 to $7,000. For that money, you get a bike that'll destroy back roads, rip up track days, or just make your daily commute a blast. Built from 2006 onward, Triumph kept updating it, smoothing out the early electrical quirks, and giving us an even better machine with every generation. Is it perfect? Not quite. The dealer network isn't as deep as Honda or Yamaha, and those early models sometimes had regulator rectifier gremlins. But if you know what to look for, maintenance is straightforward and parts aren't impossible to get. The best part? The soundtrack, fire it up, roll on the throttle, and that triple whale will turn heads everywhere. The Daytona 675 is what happens when you mix British engineering with a touch of madness. Fast, fun, and stupidly undervalued. This is a sport bike for people who love to ride, not just pose. Finally, we're at the top. Wait until you meet the ultimate V4 that's outlasted every trend and just keeps rolling. Number 12, Honda VFR 800. You want a bike that does it all? Meet the Honda VFR 800, the Swiss Army knife of motorcycles. This machine is what happens when you mix sport bike DNA with Honda's legendary reliability and a V4 engine. Smoother than fresh blacktop. It's been in production in one form or another for decades. And there's a reason for that. This bike just works. Let's get into the numbers. 781 cubic centimeters, a V4 layout, and an average of 38 miles per gallon. That's the kind of mileage that lets you chase horizons without breaking the bank. You want long-distance comfort? It's here. Twisties and mountain roads? No problem. The VFR 800 handles like a proper sport bike, but it'll cruise cross-country like a big-body tourer. Used prices? You'll spot clean examples for as little as $2,500 up to about $4,400 for low-mileage, late-model units. That's a steal for a bike this good, especially considering many of these have proven themselves with more than 100,000 miles on the clock. Riders call it bulletproof for a reason. Yeah, it's heavier than a pure sport bike. And yeah, valve adjustments on that V4 can be pricey. But that's a small price to pay for a machine that'll outlast most of what's on the market. Maintenance? Not as cheap as a naked twin, but you get so much more machine. The payoff is silky power, unique character, and a ride that feels special, mile after mile. You want reliability? The VFR 800 will laugh at bad weather, daily commutes, and road trips that last all summer. This is the secret handshake among riders who value real-world performance and don't need to brag about it. No wild graphics, no TikTok hype, just a genuine legend that never let its owners down. Upgrade your seat, stay on top of routine service, and don't forget aftermarket luggage for those real-world rides. Want more hidden gems and expert picks? Click the video that's popping up on your screen right now. It's packed with more bikes you need to know about. And if you love this kind of motorcycle content, hit subscribe so you never miss a deal or a legend again.